morning, everybody. Welcome to a new video, and today we are doing the Hunger Games President's Edition. This was suggested by my friend Carly. If you guys don't know, but it was suggested by her, so I'm doing it. District 1, George Washington and John Adams. District 2, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison. District 3, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams. District 4, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren. District 5, William Henry Harrison and John Tyler. District 6, James Knox Polk and Zachary Taylor. District 7, Millard Fillmore and Franklin Pierce. District 8, James Buchanan and Abraham Lincoln. District 9, Andrew Johnson and Ulysses S. Grant. District 10, Rutherford Burchard Hayes and James Garfield. District 11, Chester Arthur and Stephen Cleveland. And District 12, Benjamin Harrison and William McKinley. My bets are on George Washington. I can have 3 bets in each video. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, or Zachary Taylor. I hate Zachary Taylor, but I feel like he'll win it. So let's get right into this. James Madison runs. Thomas Jefferson, Chester Arthur, William McKinley, and Franklin Pierce form a suicide pact, killing themselves. Frick! That's so cool! Millard Fillmore finds a backpack full of camping equipment. John Tyler and Martin Van Buren fight for a bag. Martin Van Buren gives up and retreats. Rutherford runs with a lighter and some rope. James Garfield runs. George Washington runs. Benjamin Harrison and Abraham Lincoln fight for a bag. Benjamin Harrison strangles Abraham Lincoln with his straps. Already somebody I went for dead. James Monroe sets off an explosive, killing Andrew Jackson. James Polk runs. Andrew Johnson runs. Zachary Taylor, John Quincy Adams, and John Adams work together to get as much supplies as possible. William Henry Harrison runs. Ulysses S. Grant gets a first aid kit. Stephen Garfield takes a spear, and Buchanan takes a trident. Okay. John Quincy Adams steals from Millard Fillmore while he isn't looking. James Madison travels to higher ground. Martin Van Buren, James Buchanan, James Garfield, Andrew Johnson, and John Tyler. Tyler hunt for other tributes. George Washington sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. James Monroe chases James Knox Polk. Okay. Rutherford tries to sleep through the entire day. John Adams collects fruit. Grant bleeds out due to untreated injuries. Zachary Taylor attends to Benjamin Harrison's wounds, and Stephen Cleveland defeats William Henry Harrison in a fight to spare his life. Ooh. Tons of people are dead, see? So I still have 2 people that I'm rooting for that's still alive. So the people I was rooting for was George Washington. The ones that are alive are George Washington and Zachary Taylor. So Thomas Jefferson, Chester Arthur, William McKinley, Franklin Pierce, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, and Ulysses S. Grant is dead. Okay, night 1. Stephen Cleveland and Andrew Johnson run into each other and decide to truce for the night. John Quincy Adams sets up camp. James Buchanan tries to sing himself to sleep. James Garfield sets up camp. Zachary Taylor convinces Benjamin Harrison to snuggle with him. Millard Fillmore tries to treat his infection. John Adams receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. John Tyler convinces Martin Van Buren to snuggle with him. James Monroe and James Polk huddle for warmth. James Madison, William Henry Harrison, and Rutherford sleep in ships. And George Washington screams for help. Okay. John Adams defeats William Henry Harrison in a fight but spares his life. John Quincy Adams pricked by thorns. Rutherford and James work together for the day. Stephen Cleveland hunt for other tributes. Millard Fillmore sprains his ankle while running away from Andrew Johnson. John Tyler sprains his ankle while running away from Zachary Taylor. George Washington convinces James Buchanan to not kill him, only to kill him instead. Ooh, you go, George Washington. Benjamin Harrison tries to sleep through the entire day. Oh my gosh. James Garfield makes a spear. James Madison picks flowers. Martin Van Buren explores the arena, and James Monroe sees smoke but decides not to investigate. So, only James Buchanan died because George Washington was being a butt. Okay, William Henry Harrison begs for Andrew Johnson to kill him. He refuses, keeping William Henry Harrison alive. John Quincy Adams censors runes. Benjamin Harrison receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. George Washington is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Zachary Taylor stays awake all night. James Polk quietly hums. James Madison dies trying to escape the arena. Millard Fillmore Weatherford talk about the tributes to lives. Stephen Cleveland cries himself to sleep. James Garfield convinces James Harder to snuggle with him. John Tyler questions his sanity. Mont Van Buren and John Adams talk about the tributes to life. Day 3. James Garfield is pricked by thorns. Andrew Johnson tends to John Adams' ruin. Stephen Cleveland taunts William Henry Harrison's food, killing him. Not taunts. Taints. James O'Neill chases John Tyler. George Washington and John Quincy Adams work together for the day. Benjamin Harrison travels to higher ground. Weatherford attacks James Polk, but he manages to escape. Zachary Taylor steals from Martin Van Buren while he isn't looking. And Millard Fillmore attempts to climb a tree, but falls to his death. Whoo! The two people I'm rooting for are still in there. John Quincy Adams and Martin Van Buren run into each other, but decide the truth. James Knox Polk is unable to convince Weatherford to not kill him, so James Polk is out of here. John Adams is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Zachary Taylor tends to Andrew Johnson's ruins. John Tyler receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. James Earl severely injures Benjamin, but puts him out of his misery. George Washington receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. James Garfield sees a fire but stays hidden, and Stephen Cleveland receives clean water. Whew! George Washington repeatedly stabs Rutherford Borchard Hayes to death with a sace. John Quincy Adams receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Andrew Johnson cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Zachary Taylor explores the arena. Martin Van Buren searches for water source. James Garfield, Stephen Cleveland, and James Miller hunt for other tributes, and John Taylor diverts John Adams' attention and runs away. Okay? Ooh, tons of people be dying. And you guys can pause the video and read it if you guys want. James Garfield looks at the night sky. George Washington convinces Zachary Taylor to snuggle with him. Those are the two people I'm rooting for. Go for it. James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Martin Van Buren get into a fight. Martin Van Buren kills them both. Stephen Cleveland defeats John Tyler in a fight, but spares his life. John Adams goes to sleep. Whew. The cornucopia is replenished with stuff. James Garfield catches Martin Van Buren off guard and kills him. Stephen Cleveland decides not to go to the feast. John Tyler sets off explosive, killing John Taylor. And George Washington shoots an arrow into John Adams' head. So Zachary Taylor, another guy I was going for, is dead. And John Adams said, George Washington defeats John Tyler in a fight but spares his life. Stephen Cleveland goes hunting, and James Garfield tries to spearfish with a trident. Woo! A lot of people are dying. John Tyler and George Washington tell stories about themselves to each other. James Garfield looks at the night sky, and Stephen Cleveland receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Cleveland hunts for other tributes. John Tyler and James Garfield work together for the day, and George Washington makes a wooden spear. Nobody's dying. James Garfield, George Washington, Stephen Cleveland, and John Tyler tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. All of them are together and not killing each other. George Washington makes a wooden spear. Stephen Cleveland attacks James Garfield, but John Tyler protects him, killing Stephen Cleveland. Whoo! Not many people are left. Ooh! George Washington ambushes James Garfield and kills him. John Tyler falls into a frozen lake and drowns. Boom! A guy I was actually rooting for won for once. George Washington, yeah. We can use an axe to chop down that cherry tree. See you guys in the next video.